Hey guys, I would like to let you know I'll be at Wizard World Comic Con in Columbus, Ohio, July 29th through 31st, which will be held at Greater Columbus Convention Center. So if you're in town, make sure you come see me in the Artist Alley. Okay, I am finally done with the shading part of the pants and all that. So I'm going to start shading the abs so you guys can see my process and tell you more about it so that you can see that shading it a certain way does change how it looks and how how much of a difference it's gonna make. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Nero. So let me do that. And first I want to select his body and see if he gets all of it selected, because if he does, then that'd be great. Okay, so I got his shade color, here, which is kind of cool. And now for his type of abs, what I would like to do is come down along this path and then just go tucking outward a little bit. So you tuck outward and then you bring it back in, and then you come down again and you tuck outward, and then you bring it back in, and you definitely tuck outward. This time near his belly button you will tuck out just a tad bit more because he has a innie, but if he has an outie, you could make it tuck in just a little bit, not too much. So you just make sure you shade it like so. Make sure you go in and out with it. So that you can make that semi ab feature on him, because that's what you want. There you go. And then definitely when it comes down to here, you don't go farther down, because that is where his ab stops. Like it's more flatter down below on that area. So what you want to do is, for this part, you want to shade it just a tad bit, not too much, and then just pull in just a little bit like that. And then you want to keep going. But this time we want to do it like this. And then what I like to do is just come straight down and just paint this whole area like so. And you definitely want to get all this shaded. Like this. And then you want to come up and over like that. And then just connect it. So don't forget to shade his pants either. Like if he's wearing any type of garment around him, God willing. keep his dignity, guys. Make sure he's wearing pants or some type of towel. And to make it like more rounder, you just round it out just a little bit, and it'll help with like giving him some type of dimension. That's how you want to have it. So for his top part, like around this area where his bicep is, or what do you call that, chest plate, you want to go ahead and cut that area like that. And for some odd reason, it's usually a bulge like so. So you want to color it like this, and then into the armpit it goes. And after you go into the armpit, you bring it down and come down like that. So once that's done, you come over here and you start coloring it and bring it over like so. And after you do that, you know, you can color the whole thing. So I'm gonna, you know, speed up this little process because this process is kind of tedious. So stick with me, guys. Okay, and that's basically how you will shade it. I noticed that I kind of did like a little boo-boo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, you know, lighten this area up because it'll just mostly be his side that's like that. So just lighten that up back to his skin color. There you go. And then you could just take the airbrush and just go upward with that. So it could look like it's lightening up, you know. Yeah, you can even do that to the sides. Okay. Right. So, you know, you want to do that to the areas like here. You want, oh, my bad. Right here, you want to make like a little triangle or, you know, semi-triangle, and that helps with giving a pop to his chest too. Even like if you go around his collarbone, that helps bring out his you know, his muscle. You want to really define his body, you know, all his little cracks and stuff like that. You want to make sure you define all that, because if you don't, it's not gonna pop as much as you want it to. So you just want to make sure that like all his crevices and stuff like that, you know, you add a little bit of shadow to it so it can give it depth. Even like, you know, the little areas where his ribs would be at, you can even hit that off with like, you know, some of the darkness. It won't hurt. Even here, like you could just go in like that and it'll give his chest a little bit more of a pop. Coloring makes a huge difference. Like, not only drawing your character helps, but you know, making his color right, that's what helps with the whole, that's what pulls it in. Like, if you got the anatomy right, you can go ahead and pull all that in with just, you know, drawing and coloring. But what I like to make clear is, you know, don't be afraid to use references, because I had to study how a chiseled man how he looks, and I looked at millions and millions and millions and millions of bodies so that I could be able to get this right and make sure that the anatomy is correct. So don't be afraid to use reference will help you. Even if you have to draw a man's bicep 1,000 times till you get it right, just sketch format, it will help, because I did the same thing with sketching out Vincent's body and getting it right. I had to like study a man that was almost as beefy as he was, and then, you know, make sure that I got every anatomy, every portion down, because it really helps. It brings out your character, your male character, when he doesn't have a shirt on. And that's what, you know, I'm basically teaching you, just drawing a man without a shirt. So I'm right back on, you know, this area, and I'm just, you know, I'm just carving out his abs, and with the color, just making it pop, giving it shadow, giving it depth. And that's what you want to do. Just keep, you know, going at it and going at it and going at it, so it's like as good as, you know, as perfect as you want them. And the only reason why I made Nero as, you know, he's a medium type cut dude, just in the normal range, is because when I looked at a lot of pictures that he was in, he was a lot slender. So I was like, if he does have like any type of body build, he would look, you know, like this. It would be like swimmer type. I would call this a swimmer type muscle mass. So that's what I thought about when I looked at pictures of him. Yep. And I'm just, you know, I'm just making sure he's colored all the way. So what I'm gonna do is just speed up this part and, you know, finish him out so that I can zoom out and you can see his body. So let me go ahead and speed up. Okay, so this is basically what he would look like if you went ahead and you will color in his body. So this is what, you know, the norm, you know, like a normal body size that doesn't, you know, does like maybe swimming or, you know, regular exercising will, you know, he will achieve like that type of look. So I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next one, which is Itin. And we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pretty much show you guys how to define his body just a tad bit more so that he can look like more in the medium range. So let me grab his regular color, and we're basically gonna do the same thing and add, you know, on the chest part, add the strike like so. But this time we want to make it just a tad bit deeper than our guy on the Nero. We want to make sure that he has like, you know, a tad bit deeper there, and then when it comes down to his chest, we want to pull that over, and it'll be maybe a little bit over. No, just like this. You want to be like maybe underneath his nip and come down like this. Then you want come up, come down like this, and this will pretty much be shade like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and just color this in so that you guys can see just basically how it's supposed to look, the top part of his chest. So let me speed up and do that. Okay, so that's basically how you want his top piece to look. And now I'm gonna start focusing towards his abs. And what you want to do is you want to make this dip a lot more, you know, you want to show it just a little bit more. So you can go ahead and make like a little V tip like that, and then slowly make your way down. This time we're gonna just grab the whole ab and then protrude outward like this. And then we're gonna go up, come down, and you know, close it off basically. This, you want to just bring it in this way. Alright, now what you want to do for this is you want to come down just a little bit more and go over. Come down just a little bit, go over. So you're trying to make like a half, you know, one of those thin moon type looks towards his abs. Just keep going down, and especially that he's like, you know, turned to the side, you will see a lot more definition. So you do want to make that half moon type look and keep coming down, and then finish it off like so. Bring this up just a tad bit because that will come out more pungent, like, you know, pudgy, and then come back around like this. So you want to go ahead and you want to color all that in so that, you know, it's a lot more smoother, because the way I'm doing it it is not coming out as smooth, and it's because, you know, I'm trying to show you guys at the same time how it's supposed to, you know, how it's supposed to look. And like, if you know, if you decide to, like, skin does have pores too, and they tend to shine when, you know, a person is sweaty or wet. So if your guys tend to have, like, you know, a shine to them, you can add a little bit of white, or, you know, just lift their skin with a lighter color, but not too light, because then they're gonna look like plastic. They're gonna look like Ken dolls. It's bad enough right now they they look like, you know, Levi jean models. So we want to stay away from that, you know, that Ken Barbie look. You want to give them more of a natural look. So just keep that in mind when you are coloring. And another good tip about coloring abs is that you when it comes down to coloring them, you have to make sure you have a hard brush like this one, like, you know, more marker like, because abs are not like, you know, they don't have like that airbrush feel to them. They're more of a more hard, stern, like they have more shape to it. So you want to make sure you keep that shape together, and then maybe just hit it off with a little bit of airbrush, or you know, if you're gonna lighten it up, you know, lighten it up with the airbrush tool, just a tad bit. But make sure you keep your hard edges, because your hard edges is what's gonna help your character, his abs, show very well. And that's what, you know, that's what you want to keep in mind when you're doing this type of things, because this is what I learned. You know, it's hard, but it'll get easier and easier the more you practice and the more you study a man's anatomy. You know, for sure, you have to study a man's anatomy. Regardless of how you feel, if you're blushing, blush throughout the whole process, because you need to learn how to do this type of stuff. You got to make sure it's correct, or it's not going to look as good as you want it. It's not going to look real. It's not going to, you know, it's not going to captivate as much. It's going to just look like, oh yeah, he has abs, okay. So, you know, so you want a wowza, you're going to have to sit here and make sure you get every single piece of your character and, you know, color it with a hard color. So you see how his abs are more like out there, like you can see that they have more depth to it. That's kind of what you want throughout the whole thing. You want that depth. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is fast forward and complete him and then pull out so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So please stick with me. Okay, and this is basically what he will look like when you finish coloring him. So I gave him like a little bit of an airbrush feel so that you guys can see how extreme you should go with your airbrush. And I was thinking of, you know, a nice light, very light on your shade for it. And if you want to go ahead and darken that up with the with your airbrush tool, you can go ahead and do that too, because adding more darkness does make the abs come out more. So he's pretty much done, and I am going to go ahead and color Vincent. So Vincent he's very cut. He's just straight up, everything is nice and boxy. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that with color. So let me go ahead and select him first so that I can have him. And here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and grab his dark color, which is right here. And what you want to do is towards the chest area, you want to give it that chest plate. You know, you want to make it look as good as we made the other guys. So here we go. Going ahead and coming over like this. And this time what you want to do is you want to cut inward and then bring it up. And his will be a lot more thicker, where he will have this part come out just like that. So that will come out just like that if he were sideways. And you know, he's a little bit towards his side, so he will have it like that. So what you want to do is you want to give him more like of a boxy look, because that helps with making everything look nice and cut. Give him a lot more of a boxy feel, you know, around the chest, not too much, but you know, where it matters, like this area, it will be a lot cut. Then I'll round off like this, then I'll come upward and I'll cut right in like that, and then I'll go down like that, and then it'll go up, cut right in, go up, cut, come down, cut. You know, you want to make it cut. You want to go ahead and give it that, you know, semi Dragon Ball Z look. You don't want to give it too much because, you know, if you're trying to have like a soft type of anime or manga, you do want to keep it nice and soft and cut at the same time. So, you know, you could round it off and then just give it his cut where it needs it at. And that will help him look a 10 times more cut than the other guys. Then you will cut upward, you will cut down, and then you will cut around. And make your way down. Just make sure he looks so you just want to, like, you know, make sure he's all nice and cut up. Like right here, it'll be nice and straight, then it'll come around, and then this will probably be darker, so you know, you want to make that nice and round and just come in like that. Yep. Cut it, go in, cut it. And here will be darker. So, you know, you'll go up with the elbow and you'll come around. You make sure you cut that in like that. Just make sure it's nice and sharp because you want to give him that sharp look. And then come upward. And then you want to make that hand nice and dark, especially that it's, you know, it's just hanging out there. And this will all be dark. That will all be dark. It will all be dark. So, you know, and then here you would add, you know, his little triangle to help bring out his muscles just a tad bit more. Well, the pen tool that I'm using is not that great. Then here you will have a nice, you know, upward triangle, and even here you will have a triangle coming downward. That's what that will look like, you know. Just to give him the illusion of being cut, you know, you just want to go ahead and just shade that in like a nice box like this, just nice and box like, because it will, you know, it'll make him look more cut than having him look like, you know, one of those one that's like just medium built. You don't want to have him medium built, you want to have him like, you know, extremely built. And then that will come down like that. And I am drawing over this hand. What is wrong with me? I don't know. Let me go ahead and fix that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up this little area right here, and then we're going to go straight to his abs so that, you know, I can give you that full tutorial on that, coloring them abs. So give me 1 minute and I'll get right back to it. Okay, and I'm back, and that's basically how I did the chest. You see how it's nice and cut? It makes him more bulgy than the medium-sized guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the abs so that you guys can see how the abs are supposed to look when the person is a lot more bulkier. So what we want to do is we want to make sure his V comes down like that, comes down even more than the first guy, and you want to make sure it's cut, like nice and cut. So we're coming over like this. You want to come over, then you want to come down, and this time we want to come all the way around his abs. So you want to come all the way around. This, what you want to do with this is you want to make sure it's in a box shape. So that's how you want to go ahead and do it. You just want to come around in a box shape and slightly go up. So it's going to basically look like what his bicep is looking like, and it's going to come all around. So it's not going to be half moon or anything like that. It's going to be more like, you know, half box, like a little boxy type look. And then you want to come down, give him the box. So that means like that, go up, come up, then go that way, then go down. Make sure you get a little bit over here on the top of that ab, because that's what's gonna give you that illusion of it popping out a lot more defined, if that's the right word. It's gonna be more defined, and it's gonna look 10 times better. So you just want to come over, hit it off, come down. You're gonna get that box, so it comes down like that, and it's a lot more hard. Then when you come down in here, you just want to protrude just a little bit out. So out, in, come down, out, in, come down, out, in, come down. Then you want to bring that down just a little bit. You want to give it that box, like so. And then that box in. Come around, box it in, box inward, come around, box inward, come around, box inward, come around. Then after that, you want to come up with it and just come around like this. And you want to give it that like stern look, have that nice edge. And then, like, you know, a little bit of protruding on the side, because that's where his ribs will be at. So you just want to, you know, you just want to play with it a lot so that you can give it that look. Even when it comes down to his side, where he has that coming out, you just want to like go inward with all that. And that's basically how it's done. You know, you want to bring it in. And here, just bring it in just a tad bit, just to show, you know, a little bit more muscle definition. Here, you want to just show a little bit more muscle definition. Make that heart color. That's basically how you want to, like, you know, go ahead and have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up, and I'm going to color the abs, and then I'm going to zoom out and show you guys how he's supposed to look once it's all completed. So stick with me. That's what he basically is gonna look like when he's all finished. So you can see from the coloring how different they look. Like you will see with Nero, he's like more, you know, slimmer. He has his texture, you know, his tone, and he has some abs, and you can see that. And then when you go to Itin, you see his abs fully, but they're a lot more smoother. They're not too popping out. And then with Vincent, they're all popping out. They're all there for you to see. So this is basically how you go ahead and you do your characters when you want to make them have abs. So these are how my characters look and Yukitty's character looks, all finished and done in their different type of abs. So if you guys want to check this image out, it'll be in my DeviantArt, and all my links are down below for you guys to be able to check it out, you know, comment, give your feedback or anything. And on the video, you can do the same thing. So don't worry about that. And that's it for today's video. I hope that it did teach you something and that you learn how to make abs. For those who don't know how to make abs, please like and share. And if you want to keep up with all my helping artists, how to digitally art, any other videos that I do, be sure to subscribe so that you can be able to get updates on when I post my next video. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye bye.